Welcome to the Agility in Real Life podcast, Take 5 in Real Life. Now your hosts, Mike Studeman, Jeff Lee, and Pat Campbell.
And welcome back to the Take 5 IRL podcast, Take 5 in Real Life. I'm Mike Studeman, one of the partners at Agility IRL, and I'm joined by my two other partners, Jeff Lee and Pat Campbell. Jeff and Pat, how are you doing today?
Hey, Mike.
Doing well. Nice to be recording with both of you today.
Yeah, a rare triple hosted episode, which is always nice. So, topic for today, gentlemen, is something that we hear quite frequently these days about agile failing and what the root cause of agile failing really is. Uh, so going to be a little bit uncomfortable maybe for those that might be in leadership positions. Jeff, I'll put the question to you. Why does agile fail? It's got to be the teams, right?
No, you're right, Mike. It's a little uncomfortable. And Agile doesn't usually fail at the team level. It fails at the executive level. And that's not what most people expect, right? They want to blame Scrum or they blame the teams or something went wrong with the execution.
Exactly. Yeah, most teams are actually trying to do the right thing. Unfortunately, they're stuck in a broken system, and that system is arranged by executives. Oddly enough.
Yeah, I mean, and we say system. Let's talk about some of the attributes of that system. And these aren't agile specific things. It's conflicting priorities. Everything's a number one priority. You have five number one priorities. Too many projects in progress. No clear definition of success. Which of course leads to one of our favorite things, constant context switching. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, I used to work for a person who will remain unnamed who would say we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, right? We can't actually be working on two projects at the same time. And if we try to, it really destroys flow, right? How do you get things done? You guys have been talking a lot about flow lately, and you can't optimize that when you have this system that's really designed for chaos.
Yeah, Pat certainly perked up. His eyes got a little brighter when you mentioned flow, a favorite topic of his.
Yeah, don't get
Uh,
me excited in mid-afternoon. There's also that great bugaboo, project versus product thinking. Uh, on top of all those, and that's a big one. Given that most of the executives have come out of this project thinking era and carry that into their current position as if that's what led them to success in the first place.
yeah, and I mean, I blame since we're taking shots at people. Jeff, you won't name your party, but I blame finance there. A lot of manufacturing finance or capital finance being project driven. Uh,
Hmm.
but as we all know, Agile's about products, about the continuous delivery of value. And I think I don't want to say that it dies if you don't have product-based thinking, but I don't think you're going to recognize the full benefit.
Yeah.
Um,
No, absolutely true. Because you get people who are thinking about we're going to execute this project using Agile, right? So they don't get rid of any of the metrics that they're thinking about for project success. They just break it down into little iterative chunks of development, which isn't a bad thing compared to doing it like old school waterfall. But it's a huge disconnect. Your metrics just are not matching up how teams are working and what the organization's looking at.
And the concept of product is tied to flow because you're trying to get into a continuous flow. There's that word again of value delivery and treating it like a project with the stop start of projects and remixing teams every time is you know is going to break that.
Mhm.
well, not only the project metrics, but the whole Agile movement or community has added a bunch of metrics that executives don't understand and frankly don't care about. Velocity, we've had a couple of episodes bashing
Mhm.
that. Uh, maybe, well, no, it's bashing. I think we got to be honest with ourselves. Bashing that, bashing story points. And executives, they don't care about those because they don't understand them.
Yeah,
Either
well,
that or they become stuck on one of them. Like,
I was just going to say the same thing, though even
like
worse than if they don't care about them, if they get it, like you said, they get stuck on them and they don't understand them, right? We don't have the shared language on these metrics. So, sorry, Pat, you're going to say something else there.
no, I was just going to say, I spent a year trying to break one executive from, getting hung up on velocity as the entire measure of everything. So,
Mhm. Yeah, we're still marveling that that executive didn't fire you before that year because that's what usually happens, right? You start tell them that what they understand isn't the right thing, and pretty soon you're working with a different client.
I just put that down to my good looks, but
Well, that's your good looks and its influence on the business pattern is a whole other episode series in and of itself.
Mike and I actually have a secret podcast series on that. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, since we're talking about agile failure and leadership, we also have to talk about delays in decision making and wait time for approvals at the executive level.
mhm.
Even in some of the advanced organizations, and when I say advanced in their product development process, there's still just a ton of wait time for approvals, for barrier removal, for getting equipment that the team needs. And that falls on leadership.
Yeah,
Uh, um,
yeah. When we
yeah, on
teach,
top,
go ahead, Pat.
sorry, Jeff. I was just going to say, on top of that, executives are sometimes holding too many decisions for themselves as opposed to delegating to where the information actually is at the team level and differentiating between the strategic and the tactical decisions.
Mhm.
Um, in fact, that's going to be a whole nother podcast, I'm sure. So, we're just spinning up a whole queue of podcasts out of this one podcast, I think.
I think we are, and to your kind of your point there with the executives leading in an agile organization, that means leading a learning organization. That means you need to influence the culture, not control what everybody's doing and how they're doing it. And so that culture and control. And to be honest, that's not how most executives had success in their careers to get into that executive chair. So it's a new way of working and thinking.
Mhm.
yeah, I think if you're a leader listening to this, look at, and I'll give Joanna Rothman credit for this. I just watched a webinar with her, and she talked about if you're in a leadership position, your work item is decisions. So you should be tracking how long does it take for you to make a decision? What's your cycle time? What's your throughput? How many decisions are you making at a leadership level? But even if you do that, if you, Jeff, to your point, if you don't fundamentally trust the people that you've hired, your success at this is going to be in question or at risk.
Mhm. All right, so I feel like we've hit on a lot of things. Like you said, Pat, we should probably break some of these into smaller pieces. But for summing up, what actually works? Like, what do leaders have to do to make their organizations perform well?
So, looking back at some of the things we've touched on in this few minutes, we're talking about limiting the work in process at the portfolio level. What are they asking all the teams to do at one time? Shifting to more of a product funding model and away from a project funding model. Aligning how you measure to actually outcomes instead of output, and finally pushing some of those decisions down to where they should be made at the team level and trusting them to do the right thing. And we can dive into all these at some point in the near future, I think.
No, I didn't. Jeff, do you want to add on anything about installing Jira? Sorry, I'm kind of salty today. My
Yeah,
apologies.
you
I
really
just
are. Yeah, executives should be very hands-on with that for sure, and making sure that all the right columns are represented. No, that's not true.
I'll pay money to watch that.
in all
Yeah.
seriousness, anything you want to add, Jeff, to Pat's recipe there?
No, I think that's it, right? It's really about culture and it's creating transparency in the organization. And you're not going to get that if you don't have an organization where people trust that when they share information you don't want to hear, that you're going to react to it in a constructive, positive, and helpful way.
So
So
the
to kind
bottom
of wrap
line,
up, if Agile doesn't fail because of the teams, it fails because of the system. And leaders have a huge role to play in setting up that system for success.
Absolutely.
couldn't have
Well
said it
said.
better.
So, if you're interested in learning about how we can help you with that, be sure to reach out to Agility IRL. Pat and Jeff, want to thank you for your comments here today and putting up with my rants. Please reach out if we can be of any assistance in helping you design that better leadership system. We'll catch you in a future episode of Take 5 IRL.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Take 5 IRL podcast. If you like it, please go ahead and share it with someone, as well as like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, leave us a comment or a suggestion for a future episode. Again, thanks for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next time on the Take 5 IRL podcast.